Hello everybody, my name is Jennifer Maker. Today we're going to be together and make a paper village on the Make It Easy Craftalong challenge. So last December I designed a really simple paper town paper craft that so many people made. Do you remember that? We had it up here on the mantle. I loved seeing everyone's towns all lit up. The only problem is that it's a Christmas town and it's definitely not Christmas right now. So we need a new paper village that we can use any day of the year, right? Right, yes. So we've designed a new paper town that will brighten up any room, spring, summer, fall, or winter. And they're super easy to make in just 4 easy steps. And we're gonna show you how to do it now. Step 1, get the design. So let me show you where to get my free design. Over on my blog at jennifermaker.com, you will see that I have lots and lots of designs, and I have a tutorial for each design. This is the Make It Easy paper village that we're making today. Now, to find my actual free files, you want to go to the red navigation bar at the top of the blog. It's on every page, and click Enter the Library. If you don't have a password yet, you can get one. It's free. Once you have your password, go ahead and click Enter the Library. And it'll take you in to the place where I keep all of my files. There's lots of them. You can just browse if you want, but I always find it easier to search for what you're looking for. So you just press Command F on a Mac or Control F on a Windows. You can also search on an iPhone or iPad if you didn't know that. And you, for this project, will type in Paper Village. And you'll see it's right here at the top. And all you need to do is click it. It'll download to your computer. And you want to unzip it. And if you don't know how to unzip a file, I have a whole tutorial. It's at jennifermaker.com/svgs, and it's called SVGs Made Simple, and it's a video series that tells you exactly how to download, unzip, upload, and prepare SVGs so that you can get all of these awesome projects on my blog and many other places as well. Step 2, cut it out. And of course you can cut this out with a pair of scissors or a craft knife, but I am going to use my Cricuts because it's just a lot easier to do and I have them. All right, so we're going to go to Cricut Design Space. And this is what it looks like when you first go there. And what you want to do to get this file that you've downloaded into Cricut Design Space is click on New Project, Upload, Upload Image, and browse. And you want to find the file that you downloaded, which is called Easy Paper Villages Jennifer Maker. And in this archive, that you downloaded from my blog, there are 3 different files. The PDF is for those of you who are cutting it out with scissors or with a craft knife. The SVG is for Cricut Design Space. And by the way, if you've ever wondered why there's a DXF file in there, that is for Silhouette users who have not upgraded their Silhouette Studio edition. But we're going to use the SVG, and we click Open. And this is what it looks like. And then we just click Save. And once it's uploaded, we want to select it in our image screen and then click Insert Images. Now this project is just so easy. It really is. You literally can just click Make It right now, and you can cut everything out. But you'll notice that there's more than one village here. So the one on the left, the blue one, that's the playful one. And if you want just that one, you can do that. So what I recommend is you click Ungroup, and then you hide all of the other ones that you don't want. So you would just cut out just this one. And you can click Make It, and it puts it onto a 12 by 12 mat for you. Now, what if you don't have 12 by 12 paper? Or what if you're using a Joy, which has a smaller mat? So we can fix that too. All right, so if you need your file to be a different size, you can select the whole thing like I am. I'm just clicking and dragging around it so I get the entire design. And then you go up to the size menu here at the top, and you want to size it down to fit your paper, your machine. So an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, we probably don't want it to be any wider than 8 inches. So we'll just type 8 and hit return, and it resizes for us at 8 inches. And then if we click Make It now, and over here on the side where it says material size 12 by 12, we can change this to be 8.5 by 11, and we can see that it now fits on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. But what if we have a joy? You can still do this. So in fact, one of the designs I sized so that it would fit on a joy. So let's hide this one and show these other two small ones here. So these will both fit on a joy. And by the way, if you're wondering which ones I should cut out, I actually have this, like all four of these. So this is actually all four of those patterns together. I put the two bigger ones in the center and the two smaller ones on the end to create a longer design for the mantle. You don't have to do it that way. If you just want to use one piece of paper, you can just do the two big ones, the two small ones, whatever works for you. So all we really need to do is click Make It, and it will separate it out into the mats for us. Here's the two big pieces. Here's the two smaller pieces. They have both fit on 12 by 12 paper, which is what we'll be using today. And we just click Continue. There's nothing other, you don't have to do anything other than that. You really could just come in here and click Make It, and you'll be good to go. Now for material, let me show you what kinds of materials you can use. And you can use any kind of cardstock or poster board. I don't recommend just plain paper. I think it's not quite sturdy enough to stand up, but if that's what you have, that's what you use. So this here is just plain old 65-pound cardstock that I got from Michael's, and this works great. You just need to resize it so it fits within the 8.5 inches wide size, right? This is Cricut holographic poster board. Isn't that pretty? I love the holographic stuff. Can you see the kind of green look? I love this paper. I used it for our star lantern that we did in December. And you can see over here that I used it for that. So here it is cut out of the orange holographic, it's like poster board. It's very pretty. And then you can also just use these paper packs that many of us like to get and then don't know what to do with. So they often come with really cool patterns, and this is like a spring one. And I've used this one, and this is good paper. I always have great luck with these paper packs. And paper quality is important when you're cutting something intricate. So what's cool is that you can just use the white side if you want the white minimalist look, or you can use the colorful side as I have done over here. Or what you can do is use the white side, but pick like one that's got a pattern, and then the light will shine through and you have this beautiful pattern. For example, flowers would be a great thing to do in the spring, because if you shine a light behind and you had the pattern behind it, you would be able to see through it faintly. So a flowered pattern on the other side would be very pretty to do. So when you're in Cricut Design Space, you'll see this option that says Browse All Materials. If you don't see this, that probably means that you're on a Cricut Explorer and you haven't set your dial to custom. Put your dial on custom and keep it there, and then you'll have access to all of the options for how to cut things. So for the cardstock, we're just going to use medium cardstock, which is what I always use for this, and it works really well. But if you're doing the holographic poster board, what I have found works best is actually, because it's definitely thicker, I like to use the glitter cardstock setting for that. And sometimes I'll put it through twice if I think that it's not cutting through the right way. And we're going to talk about cutting issues in just a minute. You'll notice this is very intricately cut, but it's also very cleanly cut. There's no little ragged edges. There's no bits that didn't come out. And this was very easy to do. If you're not getting a cut like this, there's things that you can do to get it. And I want to talk about that. So I have this whole tutorial on how to fix Cricut cutting problems. And you see the before picture? If you have this problem, this tutorial is for you. And it'll show you how to get the nice, clean, beautiful cuts that you always see me making and wonder how the heck I'm doing it. So there's actually 5 tips, and we're going to go through each of those tips. All right, so the first tip is to use a clean and sticky mat. Let me show you what I mean by this. All right, so this mat here, you can see it's been cut with the pattern. It looks really good. In fact, if I flip it over, which we always want to do whenever we have anything that we're taking off our mat, always flip your mat over. You will see that it comes off beautifully, right? There's no weeding necessary. It just comes right off. It's like butter. It's really simple. Everything is clean. Everything stays right on our mat. Very easy. This is our goal when we're making any kind of intricate cut. We don't want to have to mess with it. We don't want our paper tearing. We don't want it not cutting through. We want everything to stay on the mat because that's very easy to take care of. And we want these lovely clean cuts. This is always our goal. So this is what you're going to be working towards. Some of you will be able to do this right off the bat and some of you won't. And that's why we're going through this. Okay. When you have all these bits stuck on your mat, it's very simple to use your scraper to just get them all off. You just go like this and they all come right off. And keeps your mat clean. And then when you're done, you want to put your cover right back onto it and you can hang it up. So I actually have a hook right over here. I have 2 hooks actually, and I hang up all of my mats and I keep them right within arm's reach, very easy to use and away from all of the dust. So I can literally just go like this and place it right there and see, it's all put away. Okay, so that was a nice sticky mat. When you don't have such a great mat, what you get is something like this. So here at the bottom, as it was cutting, it was starting to come off, right? This is definitely an older mat. It doesn't have good stick. We've got dog hair on it and stuff. And it didn't do too bad, but it's definitely not great. Now, what happens sometimes is if your mat is not sticky enough, it can slip around and the cuts won't be as good. It might seem counterintuitive that a non-sticky mat would cause problems, but it's absolutely a problem. So if you're having an issue with your good cuts, the first thing to do is check your mat. If you can't get a new mat, which I don't recommend you always get a new mat for your projects at all. I don't ever go out and just get new mats for projects. What you can do is use baby wipes and you can clean all of this gunk off and let it dry and it'll be awesome. I have a video about this, in fact, if you want to see me actually cleaning a mat and see the transformation between a very non-sticky mat and a sticky mat. And of course, remember, like when you take it off just like this, you can have tearing and ripping. Your paper will curl and you don't want that, right? And you can get that, you'll end up with like this. If instead you flip your mat over and pull your mat away from your project, it works so much better. And you get a nice straight, you don't get the curl to your paper. All right, so tip number 2 is to keep your blade clean. Let me show you what I mean by that. So here's my blade and my maker. Now, if you press the plunger in, you'll see your blade, right? And this is how we change it. And this little debris, paper, glitter, dust, dirt can get trapped in here. The blade can also oxidize over time and it makes it hard to cut well. If you're ever having an issue cutting, you'll want to clean it. It's not sharpening. A lot of people get confused by that. It's actually just cleaning. The way that I do it is I take a piece of aluminum foil, just a plain old regular piece of aluminum foil, tear it off about 12 inches, and I make a ball like this. I just crunch it up like this, and then what we do is we press the plunger down like this. Always be careful, of course, and I stick it into the aluminum foil ball over and over and over, like 50 times, and it cleans my blade, and it gets off any oxidation, like, little tiny particles of rust and stuff like that, or whatever else builds up on it. I'm hardly an expert. All I can tell you is that it absolutely works because I only replace my blade probably once a year. That is not an exaggeration at all. So always check your blade. You can, of course, replace your blade if you prefer, but you don't have to replace your blade anywhere near as much as you might think. I cut a lot and I replace it like once a year. So that is tip number 2. It's a big one. I use this one all the time. I pretty much clean my blade before every cut, every project, right? Because I often can't remember if I cut something weird the last time. Okay, number 3 is to use quality materials. It is not uncommon for when you have a problem cutting something that the issue is your material. It's Like, not all paper is made the same, unfortunately. So especially black cardstock. There's something about the process of dyeing it or something that makes it tough. So this is what I do. If something is not cutting out, and I've tried tips number 1 and 2, I go get a different piece of paper from a different pack or something. And I see if that cuts. And if it does, I know my problem is my material. I need to look a little harder to find something else, right? So it's hard to say exactly what to steer you towards in this case, but you'll get a feel for it. Like, some stuff is going to work better than others. For the most part, I can cut pretty much everything. My biggest issues have been with textured cardstock and black cardstock. So those are my true trouble areas. This cardstock that I used here for this works great. These paper pads, they make really clean cuts. All right, so tip number 4 is to check your settings. Just because the setting is, says this matches the name of your material doesn't mean it's actually the right one. So if we hop back over to Cricut Design Space and we look at our settings, so here's all of our material settings, and there's so many choices, right? So many choices in here. So what I recommend is, if you're having issues, do a test cut. I also have a video on how to do a very simple test cut with a circle so that you're not wasting your material until you find the right setting. And if you're really close, but it's not quite cutting all the way through, there's 2 things you can do. One is to actually change your settings. So you can click on the custom materials at the bottom there, and you can click on, let's say, what would be a good one for us to edit. Okay, 110-pound cardstock. That is a bear to cut. It's very thick. Click on edit, and you can change the pressure right here with this slider. You can change how many times it cuts. You can go all the way up to 9 times. So you can make a custom setting for your material. So once you find the setting that works based on your test cut, you save it. Be specific, give it the name of the material that you're using so you can always find it again. Click save, and then you will have that material setting. So always play with your settings. Everyone's materials and mats and blades and machines are just ever so slightly different. So what works for one person may not always work for another person. And tip number 5 is to check your pattern. So let's say you really want to cut this design, but for some reason, let's say you are making like a dollhouse and you want it to be like a little baby one. So you're like, oh, I want to make this super tiny. I'm going to cut it like this. Okay. Maybe even smaller. I'm going to cut it 1.5 inches wide. I can guarantee you right now, you're going to have a problem with that. So this is a problem with the pattern. It's too intricate. It's just too small. Sometimes there's just too much detail for the size or even the material that you've used. Sometimes there's just something funny about it, right? You can always just go in and look. Like, in fact, we can get in there really close and we can see if there's anything odd about our pattern. I'm just using the zoom buttons in the lower left corner, and it can show us, is there something missing, overlapping, weird, whatever. And sometimes mistakes creep into everyone's files, Cricut's files, my files, other people's files, and you can identify it if like something just isn't working right. But usually the problem when you're trying to cut something and it's not cutting out right, it's because you just got it too small, and it's just the cuts are too, the blade is essentially cutting in the same spot, and it's, it can't do like a micron width of cutting. That doesn't work so well. Okay, so hopefully, all right. So now that we have our town cut out, let me show you how to put it together. This is super easy. Step 3, put it all together. All right, so here are 2 of our big pieces, and this should be the side that you don't want to be seen. So let's say if you want the white side to show, you're going to flip it over to the other side. You're going to put the good side down. If you want the polka dots to show, you would do it the other way, okay? And we'll just do polka dots because it's a little bit easier for you to see on the mat. And so you just line it up. Take a piece of tape. This is actually so easy. I love this. All the hard work is done by your Cricut, not you, other than making sure that you're getting a clean cut. And that is what is really just so easy and fun about it. you tape it. Okay, so now it's all attached. And of course, if you do the other ones as well, you can attach them to the sides just like this. Let me get the other small one. My village is falling down. And you would just tape it to the other sides just like that. And then the village, both villages are pre-scored. So you just fold them in at the dashed lines. And you want to do it in an accordion, just like this, so that it gives the houses some dimension. Of course, you may do it any way you want, but this is how I did it. So you just fold every other way. We go this way. Just fold it up like an accordion. It's very easy. You just want to go carefully so that you are actually folding on the lines, not the windows. That's the only thing to be, because there's also cut windows there. It sometimes will want to fold there naturally. And then we have our village. Isn't that easy? It's so easy to do, and you can attach the other ones. If you don't want to attach them, you don't have to. This one, they're not even attached. They're just sitting next to each other on the mantle. So you don't even have to do that part if you don't want to. Very, very easy to do. This is the Amsterdam Canal House, and this is the Playful Village. And again, it's the same thing. This one's a little bit longer. There's 3 pieces. And the way they go on is the sun is at one end. Over here, the 3 houses are in the middle. And the cloud is on the other end. And you'll see the edges all match up, just like this. Right? And so you would flip them over, keep them in order, like this. And then you just tape them together, if you would like to. And then you fold them all up, and that's it. Now, of course, you can do extra things too. So what I did with my Amsterdam houses is I cut out different sheets of paper, and then I cut them. And you could actually even just tear them, because the score lines are like perforations, but I used scissors and I just cut them so they were a little straighter. And then I taped them together in different configurations to make these pretty colors, which I really like. And it's very spring-like. And if you've ever seen the canal houses in Amsterdam, they're all different colors. So this is actually slightly accurate. And that's how you can do it. Of course, if you like the white look, you can turn it over and you can do the white side and just have light shine through and give it just a little pastel color. And that's how I made the houses different colors. So basically it was 4 sheets of, different colored paper that I had, and then I cut them all up. And if you do this, you're going to end up with all, extra houses that you can give to other people that you love. Send them a letter. These fold up so nicely. This is a lovely gift to give somebody to cheer them up. This goes right into an envelope. So why not make a few extras and send them to someone that you care about? I'm sure they would love to get an actual letter in the mail from you, especially right now. So step 4 is to show it off. So let's take a look at all of our really cute paper villages. Here is our playful village that we cut out of orange holographic poster board. It's very simple, very charming and cute, and definitely playful. I like the little trees and how they're kind of going at angles, and all the sun and the cloud. It's very happy. I really like this one. And then we have our colorful row houses, and this is all 4 of the houses of the patterns put together and cut on different pieces of paper and then spliced together with tape. That's all that is. Again, it makes multiple copies if you do it that way, so that you can give some to other people that you love. And this is the Amsterdam Canal House, but in all white and with tea lights behind it. And this is sitting on my mantle in my craft room, and it's so very pretty. I love these paper houses. So these paper villages are just so easy to make, and they look really cheerful on a mantle or on a desk, I think. And they're a great reminder of the importance of a community. I know that's a little dorky, but whatever. Okay, so now we cut this super fast on a Cricut, but if you don't have a Cricut yet, you can win one in my monthly Cricut giveaway. You can enter at jennifermaker.com/Cricut giveaway. Tomorrow we are going to stick with it and make easy print and cut stickers that Alexa designed. So until next time, this is Jennifer Maker and Alexa reminding you to craft a life you love.